ahead and call the meeting to order this is the second meeting in January 2020, and we will get everything going, and hopefully Mr. Eddington will come in here in a few minutes. I want to thank Tyler Martineau from the Torrington Telegram for being here, and Ryan Caith and KGOS for broadcasting this on KGOS and KERM, and also doing a live video broadcast for through the YouTube channel. And you can watch or listen to us, come be in the audience, whatever, when you have opportunity. But I'm going to have Mr. Estes, if you would be kind enough to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The other thing I would like to do before we get into the mayor's information, I want to congratulate Leanne Mattis. She's the new editor at the Torrington Telegram, and so I think that's a good hire for Torrington. Information items. Mayor Adams had a surgical procedure completed this morning and is recovering this evening. We hope all is well. The mayor is expected to return to the office tomorrow and is excused from this meeting. The predicted snowstorm and wind chill temperatures of a couple of weeks ago produced some snow-covered streets, cold temperatures, and caused a brief city shutdown. The predicted heavy snows and low wind chills mostly missed us. The weather forecast for the next 10 days looks pretty favorable. And it's supposed to get cold tonight. I was just looking. When the snow does arrive, please take every effort to keep your sidewalks clear. If you or someone you know have trouble getting your walks cleared, give us a call and we'll get somebody to help you out. Since COVID-19 began, Wyoming's had about 124,000 positive cases identified with over 120,000 recovered. Over the last 2 years, there have been 1,588 COVID-related deaths in Wyoming, including 53 in Goshen County thus far. The Omicron variant, has shown that it is possible to catch it even if you've been vaccinated and boosted, but has shown to be producing a less serious case of the disease than the Delta variant. I don't know why I can't say that right. Continue to do those things necessary to protect yourself, your family, and friends. Hand washing, use hand sanitizer, sanitizing work areas, and wearing a mask. My understanding is that right now that community hospital shows 0 COVID-related cases, no one in ICU and no one on ventilators. This is a particularly good sign for our community. Hopefully this will give the medical staff an opportunity to rest up and get rejuvenated. At this point, the Wyoming Department of Health shows that 48% of the people of Wyoming have been vaccinated, with 56% having received at least one shot. We here at the City of Torrington still advocate vaccinations for all city residents. It is the most effective intervention we currently have to prevent its spread. Call Goshen County Public Health at 307-532-4069 or your public health care provider to schedule your vaccinations. In a related decision, last Thursday, January 13th, the U.S. Supreme Court blocked the vaccination mandate requirement for businesses with more than 100 employees, but kept the mandate in place for health care providers. And I think there may be some discussion about that tonight, I believe. As information becomes available, we'll pass it along to our employees and the public. The city will benefit from a less restrictive process for using American Recovery Act funds. We anticipate being able to use those funds for on-the-shelf projects that have previously been unaffordable for us. At this point, our future projects are all water and wastewater related. Last week we had the bid opening for our new water treatment plant. It was projected to cost around $3.5 million. The bids received were all well over $5 million. The price of material, delivery, confirmation dates, and labor costs have all been going up dramatically in the past year or so. That project will continue throughout 22 and 23. The fuel island repairs at the airport will begin Monday, January 24th. A chip seal project funded 80% by YDOT will take place sometime in the next few months. The electrical department has a couple of big projects up for bid in the next month. The city will begin the process of annexing properties near the airport as well as areas within the city limits that have either gone unnoticed over the years or that have become surrounded by the city property. And we have some of those tonight, have one tonight. A reminder that Evergreen Plaza is open and residents are moving in. Peggy Holmstrand tells us that there are currently 17 rooms occupied with another 4 having paid their fees and are moving in this week. For more information, please call Peggy at 532-7330. The big news, and I noticed that Fire Chief Patch is here on Thursday the 13th. A new fire truck arrived at the Torrington Fire Station, and several firefighters and several city officials were there to greet it. The events of the past 2 years have shown the increased danger to our volunteer firefighters for not having overhead access in dangerous situations. This ladder truck will allow a much safer and much more effective strategy for fighting fires where we are vertically challenged. And some of us can't help that. It will also allow firefighters to avoid working on fire-weakened roofs. There are several other applications where this piece of equipment will provide our firefighters a safer work environment. Thanks to the work of numerous individuals and agencies, the city's financial involvement is only $200,000. Firefighter training with this new truck will take place on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 20th through the 22nd. And I want to say a particular thank you to the Torrington volunteer firefighters, Chuck Kenyon, Mike Lira, and Cody Scott, for running the demonstrations and answering the myriad questions from the public. Your efforts were appreciated. Thank you. Finally, all of us at the City of Torrington are not sad to see the events of 2021 fading in the rearview mirror. We wish everyone a more pleasant and prosperous 2022. And that's that. Okay. Approval of the consent agenda is the next item of business.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Councilman Kelly.
I'll second.
And thank you, Councilwoman Steinbach. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda, which includes minutes from the last council meeting as published. Any discussion? Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the agenda.
I would move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Councilman Patterson.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Kelly. Approving the agenda has been moved and seconded. Those, anything that needs to be added, anyone? Hearing nothing, those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Nothing in the public forum, so we'll go right to the action items. We're going to award, item 1 is award bid at Cold Springs. I believe Mr. Utes and Mrs. Strecker, if you'd be kind enough to take us through this.
Our engineering firm, EDM, has recommended to take ECI out of Glenrock, Wyoming as the low bid. As you can see, there is a discrepancy. Myself and our project engineer called all the references, got nothing but rave reviews. They were also the contractor, I believe, on the ambulance generator project here, and to my knowledge, everything went very well. he called him and said that they went through it 3 different times with different staff members and said, the bid is correct. He goes, I don't believe I know what the other ones were bidding, but I do know one of the other contractors, little backstory, about 1.5 years ago, we met with him, that was over $100,000, said he could do it for $35,000. And now all of a sudden it's 100,000 more. So I'm not sure what changed in 1.5 years. I don't think prices have gone that far out of whack with labor, but is our recommendation to accept the bid for the $35,789.11.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
What exactly is this project?
It's taken 2 distribution circuits down to Cold Springs Business Park to put it on the new Cold Springs substation and convert Baumgart's, the butcher shop, and anything else that's down there over to the new 12470 system.
Now, when they did the bid opening the other day, they did for the one for the parts, something like 4,000, 7,000 square or linear feet of conduit. Is that part of this project?
Yes. We haven't done the material bid yet. There's still a couple of issues we're working through for that. That will probably be at the February 1st meeting.
Did EDM say anything about what was different? Why there was so much less than the other bid?
He went through all the bid units. Everything was good. Like I said, he called the references, good reviews. Labor bid units were good. Like we said, I don't know what the other ones over $100,000 were.
Because when I went on the ECI website, it looked like about the only thing they do is make metal boxes.
Pardon?
The way, the one on the website for ECI, it looks like they make basically metal boxes. It doesn't even say anything about construction.
I think you're on the wrong website.
No, it was in Glen Rock.
They do controls, they do generators, they
yeah.
do 15 kV work, they have electrician work, they pretty much do it all.
But it didn't sound like they did the cable and the
Yeah.
underground stuff and
Yeah,
stuff like
they
that.
do underground overhead, 15 kV work for oil fields, coal mines.
Okay, so what happens if we go ahead and award this bid for 35.7, and then they come up and say they can't do it for that, then what?
Attorney Eddington might.
Mr. Eddington.
They have a contract, and we've accepted the bid. They're
Yeah.
stuck. The loss is on them, not on us.
Yeah, but if they refuse to do it,
Then we sue them for damages, we have it done, and go after them.
I don't know, I just kinda, I just can't imagine what the difference between $140,000 difference there.
Well, but if you look at the second one, it's only 20,000 difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they're 125,000 less.
Maybe the bottom 3 are the ones that are out of whack. Let's hope.
I don't know.
Let's hope,
Okay.
huh?
That's what I'm thinking.
I presume this EDM, we've worked with them before.
Yes.
I've seen them differentials, but not quite 140,000 difference.
What was the wastewater one?
The bid,
Yeah.
I think the highest bid was what, 5.8?
And that was how much over?
Well, that was just the engineer's guess.
Okay. Do you have any further questions from the council? That is quite a savings if we,
Yeah, and the material bids will keep us under budget with that labor bid, so,
Well,
so far, so good.
what was the, when we were budgeting for this, what did you have projected for the budget for this part of it?
We had about, what was it?
I only have the total.
Yeah, the total, which left a little leeway, but it was
It's-
around 240,000.
Yeah, 238 is what it says for the total. So you don't know what each of the, it was broken down to. That's okay.
And the material bids are, they could bid on what they wanted, where everything's covered. So you may get one vendor getting half of it and the other vendor getting half of it, whichever saves the most money.
Okay.
That's my
And then we can pick and choose.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
I-
Okay.
I think what you're seeing these last three is that contractors, when they don't want a job real bad, will throw a bid out like that. And then if they get it, it's really worth
They
it.
may not have time to do it and think if they get it, they're gonna make bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what you're seeing.
I'm thinking, so looking at Ward's bid, that kind of leads me to believe that's where we were going with that.
Further questions by the council? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, I would entertain a motion of,
I would move to approve the bid for ECI from Glen Rock, Wyoming, for this.
thank you, Councilwoman Steinbach, for your motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Patterson. So it's been moved and seconded to accept the bid as presented. Again, thank you, Mr. Utes, for your time, and Mrs. Strucker, thanks. Those in favor of the motion, if there are no further questions, those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We've accepted that bid.
Is there a start date for this project?
It's going to depend, Dennis, on lead times on material. There's certain items that are quite a ways out,
Yeah.
so mid-July or even later.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah, we're gonna see that.
things bothers me.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2 is a catering permit. Ethan Fitch with the Mint Bar is requesting a catering permit for a Goshen County Library Sip and Paint event. Chief Johnson and Mrs. Anaya, you're on. Yeah, yep. Come on up. We'd love to hear from you.
Good evening. Yes, I am working with Ethan and requesting a catering permit for the library. They are hosting an event January 22nd, which is this upcoming Saturday. It's one of 12 events. They are hosting one per month in celebration of 100 years for the library. Of the 12 events, 5 of them, they are for persons over 21 and have asked to have beverages, and I think we're finally getting on track to getting the paperwork in on time.
Yay.
Yes, for me too. Do you have any questions? Do you want to come and sip and paint? This is going to be a small event. There will be about 30 people. And it's from 3:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. So I'll be featuring 2 different wines with appetizers, and will be interesting to see what everyone paints.
Kidding. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Chief Johnson, do you have anything you want to add?
This is very similar to past events that they've done, and they've done a nice job managing them. We laid out the same expectations that we always have. Brandon, you need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
No problems.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you both.
Any other questions?
No?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay,
I would move to approve this catering permit for the Goshen County Library Sip and Paint.
thank you, Councilman Patterson. Can I get a second?
I'll se-
Okay, Councilman Kelly, thank you. Further discussion by the council? I know that she does a great job with these. This isn't her first rodeo, so. If there are no further discussion items, then those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, same sign. Thank you. It's been approved. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, item number 3 is ordinance first reading. Mr. Eddington.
It's an ordinance annexing within the corporate limits of the city of Torrington, Wyoming, real property to be known as the 1989 Runway Edition And the legal description is attached. You can see it's quite lengthy, so we just reference in Exhibit A. Another cleaning up of property that we've found was purchased many years ago, but never annexed.
Okay. And this, we have the map, and you can see that on your map where that's located, and it's a pretty good-sized chunk of areas. Is that right, Mr. Estes?
Director Harkins put this together, but he's been working on this, but I can kind of show you on the map up here what we're looking at. This is a better map than the one in your packet. So this is really what represents, all these areas here are different deeds and different purchases we've done over the years. Really what we're looking at right here is this area right here, annexing all this in. Director Harkins rewrote Exhibit A tonight to include every one of these outstanding books and pages and these deeds here. We're going to annex it all at once and reference those books and deeds in the annexation ordinance. So we just have to do one instead of several, and hopefully get it all done at once.
And when will we be doing that?
This will be tonight, be first reading, then we'll do 2 more readings, and then.
And then it'll be all of these pieces you're talking about right now, or just this one piece?
Right now, we're requesting the council approve this, and in this Exhibit A is this outline right here of this whole area here. Instead of doing them piece by piece,
Yeah.
we're gonna do one ordinance for all this area that's outstanding through Exhibit A, through the description in Exhibit A. And Director Harkins will rewrite that and put the additions of these books and pages, so they would have reference to all that in the ordinance. So if anybody did research in it, they could find all that.
Okay.
And
that'll
track
be
it.
in, excuse me, that'll be in second reading and third
Correct.
reading then. Okay, that'll be included then. Great.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be a lot easier for us to do and more efficient, I think, for us to do it at once instead of several times.
Yes, we're hoping so.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank Director Harkins, he did it.
Yeah, thank you. The council, do you have any questions?
Just to clarify, this is all city-owned property now?
Correct.
All of,
All the different B&Ps are purchases that the city made through the years. So the only difference on the next reading will be the legal description will be amended to include each and every one, but we need to reference B&P also, because every B&P, every book and page has a separate legal description.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would move to approve annexing the 1989 runway edition, first reading.
thank you, Councilman Patterson. Can I get a second, please?
Second?
Thank you, Councilwoman Steinbach. Further discussion?
Most of the parcels all say, make reference to a person or persons, except the one way up in the very top corner, and then the one way down at the bottom. All they have is listed as a parcel number. They don't have any reference to any person it was bought from or anything. Is that?
Actually, all 3 of those, the ones you're talking about, they're all related to that one parcel down in the corner that does have a reference, which is William and Esther Ring. And it's listed as, I think, what, 15A, B, and C?
15A, B, and C? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because it couldn't fit all that description in those little tiny parcels there.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Harkins. Appreciate that. Further comments? Hearing none, those in favor of the ordinance on first reading, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The ordinance is passed on first reading, and it will be cleaned up for the second and third. Great, thank you. That'll be nice to get that accomplished before we step into some other things. Okay, item number 4 is resolution number 2022-2. Mr. Eddington.
City of Torrington Resolution 2022-2 2022-2, whereas the general fund received unanticipated revenue, and whereas certain budgets had expenditures in excess of the budgeted amount, whereas Wyoming state statute prohibits any officer or employee of a municipality to make the expenditure or encumbrance in excess of the total appropriation for any department. Therefore, be it resolved that the fiscal year 2022 budget of the city of Torrington be amended as follows, with a grand total budget adjustment of $22,821.41.
Thank you, Mr. Eddington. Mrs. Strecker.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we've received some unanticipated revenue through either a grant or selling items on a website called GovDeals for the police department, and also some revenue from tournament that wasn't anticipated. So what I'm doing is basically adjusting the budget for revenue in those areas and then increasing the expense line item so that the money can be spent in this fiscal year.
Okay, council, do you have any questions?
So these two departments raised that money that went into their budgets by,
Right, so, correct, through grants that we didn't know about at the time of the budget. You know, at the time of the budget, we just, don't realize the opportunities that are out there. I'm all for going out there and getting the money and being able to get some of these things done that need to be done in the city, so.
Great, thank you. Further questions from the council? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-2.
Thank you, thank you, Councilman Kelly. Get a second, please.
all second that.
Thank you, Councilman Patterson. Further discussion from the council? Do you have any questions? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion to approve resolution number 2022-2, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Item number 5, the OSHA ETS mandate update. Mr. Eddington and anybody else that wants to jump in.
As you referenced earlier, the Supreme Court came out with their decisions last week. They're dated January 13th, and as you are well aware, the first case where the stay was upheld was the Department of Labor buying through OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. I just wanted to read one buzzword, one sentence, if you will. When they're discussing it, they say, the act empowers the secretary to set workplace safety standards, not broad public health measures. And that's basically, in sum, what they found was that's why that mandate could not hold muster, for lack of a better word. On the other hand, the other case involved the Secretary of Health and Human Services through, and they're empowered to run Medicare and Medicaid. And in that case, they said that Congress has authorized the Secretary to impose conditions on the receipt of Medicaid and Medicare funds that the Secretary finds necessary in the interest of health and safety of individuals who are furnished services. The Secretary accordingly concluded that a vaccine mandate is, quote, necessary to promote and protect patient health and safety, close quote, in the face of the ongoing pandemic. And that was therefore the basis for them upholding that. How that affects us, that's the issue still facing us. It would only affect Darren and his ambulance staff. from what we've learned so far, we believe it is applicable to him because one of the fact sheets talks about emergency responders. Mayor Mayor Adams wanted to be involved in that. Darren and I met today and discussed it. We both believe it applies to him. Our plan is to, assuming the mayor's post-op allows him to be in the office tomorrow afternoon, we plan on calling the Department of Health to get some final direction from them and to confirm that they agree that it would apply to the ambulance staff. But he only has 4 full-time staff and approximately 15 PRNs. So under the CFR, the Code of Federal Regulations, that this makes applicable to anyone receiving Medicaid. And as you probably know, the ambulance receives a lot of payment from Medicaid patients and Medicare patients. Therefore, it's applicable, but we're going to confirm that with them, that the number of employees is important for the purpose of, under the CFR, if there's less than 10 employees, the plan does not have to be in writing. And so that may save a little bit of headache, but it is a mandatory thing. So it appears that the vaccination for these health workers is mandatory. There's no exceptions for testing and masking and all of those things. And we're going to try to firm that up tomorrow, and then we'll have Darren get a policy in place.
Okay.
You
Thank
mentioned it said something about first responders. Wouldn't that pertain to the PD also?
You know, that's a question that came up today. We don't believe it is because they're not in the business of providing health-related services unless it's an emergency situation and they would call in. We believe this is for full-time health providers, not emergency, once, you know, a car crash or something like that. They would certainly do what they could. We don't believe it applies to those emergency responders. We're hoping it doesn't apply to those emergency responders.
The police and fire are not Medicaid providers.
They don't receive any
So-
payment from them, so we don't believe that that is applicable under the federal law.
Well, in the fire department, they're not actually employees anyway.
Correct.
Well, one of them is.
About one is appointed. I don't know if he's an employee or not. We'll have to figure that out.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eddington, appreciate that. So hopefully by tomorrow, we'll know more.
Where we're headed.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So there really isn't any action item that we need to do. That's just more for information. So number 6 is approval of the bills from January 5th through the 18th. Mr. Strecker.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Attached to your agenda were a list of bills. I'd be glad to answer any questions on those bills, as well as the second set of bills that was handed out tonight.
One question I have is on the first one for Bivens Construction. Repair work to Ridge Road, is that the final payment?
I think there'll still be retainage after this one.
That is all done though, right?
Further questions for Clerk Treasurer Strecker?
I would move to approve the bills as presented.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Steinbach, has it been moved to approve the bills as presented?
I'll second.
Councilman Patterson seconds that. Further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor of approving the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's see, I believe the last thing on the agenda is public comment. Does anybody want to come up and talk to us? You get about 2 minutes. It's kind of like staff meeting today. It's pretty quiet.
I just want to announce that I have a granddaughter due any moment in Gillette, so
And you haven't jumped up, so she hasn't
No,
been born yet.
I'm waiting
Okay,
for my
okay,
text.
okay.
So he's ready for number 8, is what he's really saying.
Yeah, okay, I get that, okay. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Patterson.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Steinbach. Those in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you all very much. And